are watching several developing stories this hour. We now have shocking new photos. Look at these of the United Healthcare CEO's suspected killer, unmasked and smiling. You see them there in the top right corner of your screen. A manhunt is now underway for the assassin. We have a live report just ahead. We're also awaiting a verdict in the Daniel Penny manslaughter trial. The jury is now deliberating for a third day. Penny faces up to 15 years if convicted, and we will bring you that verdict when we get one. And Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy arrive on Capitol Hill to unveil their cost-cutting vision to save taxpayers' money, your money. They'll be joining House Speaker Mike Johnson in about an hour. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Cheryl Casoni, Fox Business anchor and host of American Dream Home on Fox Business. Julie Banderas, Fox News and Fox Noticias anchor. And Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor and former Utah congressman. Well, we begin here with a new report that the Biden White House is considering, listen to this, preemptive pardons before President-elect Trump takes office. Now, this is according to Politico. White House officials are weighing handing out blanket pardons, to those in, quote, Trump's crosshairs, in their words. Among those who could receive them are former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Senator-elect Adam Schiff, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, there's no evidence any of these individuals have requested a pardon or if they know these discussions have been going on. And Politico reports that the president himself has not been brought into the broader pardon discussion yet. It is his aides having these talks. And Fox News has reached out to the White House, Cheney, Fauci, and Schiff for comment, but they have not responded to Fox directly on those requests just yet. Emily, you can always glean what is happening by the White House response within a story. And I want to pull up the one-sentence White House response here in Politico. A White House spokesperson declined to comment on, but did not deny the discussions. That leads me to believe that this is correct. These discussions are ongoing. Biden is not aware of them. But my question is this. We do have a justice system. We have a Justice Department that brings charges. Then you go to a judge. You can file a motion to dismiss. And then we have a jury in the case of criminal charges. Why are they not comfortable with those fail stops? They were comfortable with it for President Trump, and it was weaponized against him.
It's such a great question. And I think, frankly, that these reports, little surprises me nowadays, but I was actually really surprised by those reports. But here's the thing. It's important to underscore the fact that, per the reports, the president had nothing to do with it. It's just staff. And it reminds me and is emblematic of exactly the pig pen tornado surrounding what has been the Biden administration this entire time, which is the complete politicization of everything. It's the creation of a beast that is President-elect Trump. It is them, the fact that this is taking up oxygen in the White House. This is where our tax dollars is going right now, to paint this narrative that somehow President-elect Trump would seek to pursue criminal charges against those individuals. And by the way, where's the accountability? If, for example, Dr. Fauci, there's an accountability that scores, by the way, how this administration is spending the last remaining weeks of that person at Commander-in-Chief and his staff at the helm.
Jason, I want to pull up an example of blatant double standards, of hypocrisy. I laughed out loud when I read this, given what we have seen over the last 4 years. This is also in Politico. What has some Biden aides particularly concerned is that even the threat of retaliation could prove costly to individuals because they would be forced to hire high-priced lawyers to defend themselves in any potential investigation, especially for those officials without significant means. The specter of six-figure legal bills in the coming years is unnerving. That is exactly what they did to Trump officials over the last 4 years. Heck, they did it before that. Michael Flynn had to sell his house.
Oh. Yeah, the lawfare was alive and well, but these people still suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. They still are hyperventilating the idea that Donald Trump is very forward-looking. He's said out loud, the best thing you can do is make America. This is a bit of a sideshow. It's purely speculative. The one thing I do think is going to happen is that I think there are more Bidens that will get some of these pardons. James Biden and some of the other family members, I think, are in legal jeopardy. And that's been pointed out in Congress. I mean, that comes from James Comer. Comer has been laying this out. And that's where I think that pardons that come in maybe January 19th or even the morning of January 20th will include more Bidens.
And we know Karine Jean-Pierre said in the gaggle that more pardons were coming. So we will see who those go to. You don't often count on Adam Schiff to be the voice of reason, but he was. Listen to this sentence, Julie, from none other than Adam Schiff. He told Politico, "I would urge the president not to do that. I think it seems defensive and unnecessary."
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these people might reject these pardons. It's just very strange. It suggests impropriety, and I don't understand why the president is doing this. And in his last days in office, doesn't he want to go out with a bang? I mean, doesn't he want to actually leave some sort of positive legacy? But instead, he's focusing so much, first pardoning his son. He's pardon happy at this point. He's getting absolutely nothing done until January 20th, which is kind of odd, you know, that we don't basically have a president until then, because it seems like this is the focus. But none of these people have been accused of crimes. These are not criminals. So why are you pardoning somebody who's not a criminal? It was also interesting when he pardoned his son, because typically when you pardon somebody, it's after the sentencing, after they've served some time behind bars. There was never a sentencing. And he even came out a year ago saying, in fact, as early as June, saying that he would never pardon his son and that he would believe in the judicial process and in the jurors, that he would trust in them. And you just pointed that out. He clearly doesn't. So it's really hard to say where he's going with this.
And Biden's not aware of these discussions, as Politico reported.
Right.
Last I checked, he
Yeah,
was
it's the
asleep
White
at a
House.
table in Angola.
But doesn't he have a say? Wouldn't you think, though, that the president would be involved in these conversations by now?
Yeah, one would think, because it's a huge
strange that the
deal.
White House just makes these decisions on their own without even consulting
and then
with
leaks
the
it
president
to
of the United States.
And then leaks it to Politico.
It's very odd.
Very interesting. Also interesting, New York Times editorial board, you know, these are journalists. These are people who are supposed to be even, down the middle, nonpartisan. Let's bring in Michelle Goldberg, who says blanket pardons for all.
There's a way to do this, I think, that would make the narrative clear-cut for the American people. It's not ideal to have an incoming potential head of the FBI, Kash Patel, who he wrote a book. He has an enemies list in it. So we know exactly who he has threatened to go after without cause. Just pardon everyone on it. Pardon everyone on it.
I mean, that sounds like advocacy, Cheryl.
It does. And again, Emily makes the correct point. This is very politicized. Biden is in Africa. To your point, look, this reminds me of what we're seeing from a lot of these Democratic governors across the country right now, whether it's Gavin Newsom or Kathy Hochul, Phil Murphy in New Jersey. No one's trying to attack New Jersey. So this rhetoric and this hyperbole that we're getting from these Democratic leaders kind of reminds me of what this report is coming out with the White House officials talking about, you know, potential pardons and blanket pardons. I do agree about James Biden. I think the Burisma and the China connections there that James Comer has been, 3 years now of investigations, you know, in his committee has discovered. There's a lot of documents there. There's a lot of LLCs there. But back to this issue of this Trump derangement syndrome. This is they don't know what's coming, and that they're trying to grasp onto straws, I think, because of the results of November 5th.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're scared.
We know more pardons are coming. A little communications advice. Maybe next time don't do it the Sunday before a Monday news cycle, so it leads everyone's coverage. Free advice there to the Biden administration.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern.